Hey, welcome to the last photograph video. We'll just have a quick recap and then we go on to digital. So we've just got the last two cameras that we dealt with in the last two videos. The 1978 Olympus and the 1987 National Point and Shoot. So sometime in the early 2000s, digital cameras got released and they were very quickly taken up by the market. The biggest difference being that you didn't actually have to grab the film and develop it in the shop. So that was a big thing. So the first digital cameras didn't really have a good zoom on them, so you couldn't get close to, for example, this kiriru, and so when you did zoom in on digital cameras, they were very poor. You could take pictures just like that, even better, with a lot of resolution, but you couldn't zoom in to something like this, which was in the middle of the Huntley Lake a few years back. Obviously there was a bit of parking issues there at Huntley that day, and with digital cameras you really couldn't, the early ones, you couldn't take nice sunset shots like this one here on the end of Farewell Spit on the top of South Island. So digital cameras came along. This particular one here is an Olympus MU or MJU, and it is shockproof and waterproof. Now that was quite an advanced camera of its day, and this was around about 2009. So the market for a digital camera like this would be $700 or $800, which was quite a lot of money in those days. But you saved in other ways. Problem with printing your own photographs from photographic paper is that you had to have a printer, and this photographic paper wasn't cheap, so the expensive hobby continues even into the digital age. The other thing was that the photographs that you printed off tended to fade quite a bit over the years. That's only from 2009, so what's that, 11 years ago? So you had to be a little bit aware of what you printed it on. If you did go and print it at a photographic shop, you got results a lot better. So for example, the waterproof camera took this shot at Pauanui Beach, and obviously I was in the ocean when I took that shot. And despite the color problems that my camera has, and my current video camera has, that's actually a nice photograph. You can also do special effects, making your photographs black and white. Arcades, going back to old school. That's taken off Castle Point. You also had a timer on your camera, and it gave you about another 10 seconds to press the timer, and away we'd go. And sometimes you would get your surfboards in the shot, and sometimes you'd chop the tops off them. So to continue, the digital camera that is here is very small, but it's also quite an interesting technology. You had a lens there, but at the back you had a 6 centimeter liquid crystal display, which unfortunately, due to the age of the camera, does not work on this one anymore. And you had just like the cameras of today, a memory card and a battery. So the battery was something like this, and the memory card was something like that. And depending on how good you had it, this one's a gigabyte, but the standard one that came with the camera was only 256 megabytes. Pretty much used that up on day one. So just a couple of more advantages and disadvantages of digital cameras is that you had a battery that used to be used up quite quickly, and then you needed to recharge it, otherwise the camera wouldn't work after that. I mentioned about the memory. Memory cards got used up if you used a high resolution. But the beauty of digital is that you could save. The beauty of digital cameras is that you could save to a computer, then put it on a USB, and then pop along to the camera store or a hardware store and get your photos printed out for about 20 cents each. I think they're about the same price now. So that's great, and because your photographs are on the computer, you had the chance of making a photo book. Now this one here was made using photos from a digital camera, so quite a nice memento. So those are the photo albums of today. So you've got quite a lot of pictures in there, and you can have 100 pages or so. Again, you need to save up to be making one that big. But one other thing is that the instructions on these things are quite extensive on a digital camera, so you had to know what you're doing. But quite nice to have, and that pretty much concludes the day on video on digital cameras. Get that out, and I hope that you enjoyed the series, and I would recommend that you take photography up, because it is the eye to another world. Thanks. See ya.